Slanjavar, everyone. It's us, Drinker and Mauler are here, and we're ready to
Hello.
start another episode of Last Orders. As
Yeah.
always happens, we didn't get through all of our super chats on the night, so this is the best we can do. I know people ask, like, well, why don't you just answer all of them on the night? We've had that question a few times. It's like, well, the problem is more just keep coming in while we're doing it, and so it becomes a never-ending cycle. So this is the
Yeah.
best way we can get around it.
It is a good plan, the separation. In fact, it kind of inspired me. I think that's essentially what we're doing on EFAP now. We split the episode and the catch-up sort of thing, makes it definitive. So there's a block for them to come in and then a block for them to be answered instead of, as you just said, when you answer them live, then you're like, done with that selection. Now another hour of new ones. You're like, oh, shit.
Yeah. I mean, like, I've had this before where it's like I thought I was wrapped up and I was doing my goodbye speech, and then more super chats would come in and be like, God damn it! Like, I just can't finish this thing. They end up toying with you after a while. It's like, I'm just going to keep you here all night, Drinker. You're going to have to keep answering. But no, this is better. And at least we're not trying to, like, rush through them, because
Yeah.
there's more coming in. So it's better this way. Anyway, well, the first one that we've got here is Stolen Chant, who says, Drinker, please ask Mauler this in your sternest tone. Okay, right.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna get stern, right? Mauler, what date and number of EFAP is Movie Bob coming on as a guest? We must know!
The second he agrees to, we'd have him on, ask him about his crazy opinions. So he would not only never come on, I think that he would realize, like, it would be a fucking bad idea too, because we would just collect all of his quotes and ask him about them. And he'd be like, shut up.
Oh god, you could legit make that like a pay-per-view.
Yeah,
like $50
people would
to view it
definitely
or
pay to do
whatever.
that.
People, I would pay it just to see
What's the
it.
thing? We could, but I'd have to make it free. The world needs to see it. Everyone needs to see it. It has to be seen. It's important. It's a world event.
Does he ever do live streams or anything of that nature? I don't think I've ever seen him do anything like that before.
Live streaming. I think he might have at some point. I can't remember which team he's a part of that maybe did it, but obviously he does shit tons of videos. But yeah, I don't know about streaming. Maybe not.
Okay. WYFT, what's your first thought? Says, great job last night, Drinker. When I say that it was a 3-on-1, I thought it might be an even match, and it wasn't even close. Oh yeah, that's got to be Star Wars on trial. That was good fun. P.S. John Stahelski gave you a shout out on the Joe Rogan podcast. Yes, he did, apparently. That was very cool. So the director of John Wick and Keanu Reeves have both seen my review, which is kind of cool.
It's
And
pretty
I was trying to
neat.
remember what I said. Like, I hope it wasn't too mean to Keanu.
Like I said, I was like, I hope they don't see the review we did on EFAB. It wasn't exactly friendly.
Never be mean to Keanu. The man's a national treasure, damn it.
True.
Ryan S says, for Az, no booze and playing Gollum. True strength. That is
Yeah.
true. From what I've seen, like, I would need a lot of booze to get through that. Muzzbuzz says, Hail Drinker and Co. Highly recommend a TV series, Mr. In Between. It's an Aussie drama, well worth it. Yeah, I've heard good things. Very good things about it. I don't know if I mentioned I've finally started watching Succession. And
I think you did, yeah. How you find it?
I like it. It's very good.
Well, I'll tell you, I post season 1 and 2, I was in love with the show. Thought it was brilliant.
Nice. All right. AJ Matheson says, we all like the Bond films. Not you, Daniel Craig, but have you seen the Flint movies? American 60s camp with James Coburn, Kirk Fu fights, gadgets, hot ladies, and great lines that only Coburn could land. Not for modern audiences. No, I don't think I've ever seen the Flint movies, no. I like James Coburn, though. He was a great actor back in the day.
One of those called in, like, Flint, right? Or or is that something else?
Hold on.
Because I only know that basically from Austin Powers. It's referenced in it.
Oh, yeah, in like Flint. So, yeah, 1967. It's a spy-fi comedy. Right, okay.
Never really heard of it, but all right.
Yeah, no, I'm not familiar with them. That's weird. Okay. Next one is Taker 610. Lord of the Rings Return to Moria is better than Gollum. I mean, it seems like anything's better than Gollum at this point.
Yeah, that's got to be the worst game they've ever entered into the fucking Lord of the Rings.
Greg Kett says,
Yeah.
"Hey Drinker, how's your movie going? I hope you make your own studio." Well, that could be the plan, but yeah, it's going great. Where I was just saying to Mauler before we went live, or before we started recording. Yeah, I've spent a lot of the day looking through audition tapes for the various actors for the various roles, and it's quite surreal to see people like giving their take on your characters and reading the lines that you wrote. You know, it's never really happened before, so I'm very much enjoying it. But we got some pretty good auditions, so I'm liking this. And yeah, like I think when people were asking me about this before, the plan is that we start shooting at the end of July. So it's going to be like 2 or 3 weeks, so sort of mid to late July until the start of August, and then a couple of months of post-production, editing, and hopefully it'll be out by the end of the year. So that's the plan. And yeah, I'm gonna hopefully fly out to Canada to see some of it get filmed at least. So I'm looking forward to that too. Carnage Undone says, I hated the Miles Morales movie, all roads in destroying Peter Parker's Spider-Man. The multiverse is just tiring and it'll destroy canon. I mean, yeah, particularly Mauler is probably going to agree with you on that one. I didn't like the treatment of Peter, I must admit. And
I'm very done with multiverse at this point. I assume you're the same on that.
Yeah, I'm done with most things comic book related, if I'm honest. But yeah, multiverses, yes. For all the reasons that I've explained ad nauseum in previous streams, I guess. Samuel Shafiq says, I tried twice in Super Chats on Real BBC and NFT without an answer. You were absent. Well, that's your problem, you see. You need me to help you. So here it is now. Mauler, when you joined Real BBC, Az and Gary sent you a bunch of comics. You were going to discuss them together. Any plans on actually doing it?
I think if you remember, it started out with Longbow Hunters, and we discussed it. I think the first third of the comic, and then that sort of fell by the wayside. And I think that format-wise, it just didn't turn out to be something that they were as much interested in doing. I don't know. I'm always ready to, if they want to, tell me to read a comic and talk about it the following week. I'm totally up for it. It's just going to be whether or not they want to do that. Obviously, there's lots of things happening every week in pop culture that they want to discuss. Even to the point where we were supposed to do a top 10 Doctor Who list, and we did the first 5, and it's been like, I think, 3 weeks. We're like trying to do the second 5, but things keep happening.
It's yeah, it's kind of more like it's morphed into it's like Friday Night Tights, but the elite version, with the the best of the best. That's what you get on Real BBC. What's the next one? Fight the Club says, good evening, you codependents. Does anyone have a little-known character or story from fiction, comics, or pulps that you'd like to see done in film or TV, provided it doesn't get nerfed for the plebs? Yeah, so essentially, kind of question we've had before, favorite books, comics, stories, or whatever that you'd like to see adapted for the screen. I want to see the story of Wade from Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I feel like they told his story. That was a really thorough and detailed sort of approach. There's a reason why we all cried when he died.
We can dig deeper, Mauler. We can always dig deeper.
Deeper again? Okay, yeah. I just don't want to, too much of a good thing,
There's
but
hidden depths to Wade. That we need to get.
I'd less so say it's little known, but adaptations I really, 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 really want to see is stuff like Dead Space, BioShock being put into like film and TV. I think they're ready for it. Like they're going to be great for it. The Last of Us, I think, has opened that door now. It's like, come on, go, grab all the best stories.
Yeah, we talked about this before, didn't we? That there could very well be like a new age of video game adaptations that could be the next superhero genre.
Well, yeah, because we got The Last of Us Season 2 will be out 2024, and that's going to be fucking hilarious if we experience the same thing as a game over again. But Arcane, I'm pretty sure we'll have really strong information by then about that. And then we've got all those other projects that have been highlighted, and it's just like, yeah, could be entering that era, especially with the Marvels on the way. It's like superheroes are in the way.
Could that be like the Vikings funeral of the superhero genre? It just like goes up in flames after.
Well, you already know it's gonna fail, and then they're gonna say yes because it's led by 3 women, so you know why it failed, because men are misogynisms, and you're like, it could be that it's shit. Could
Yeah.
be.
Have you considered that it might just be shit?
It's like everyone already has it prepped as their sort of, little token in the culture war. They're ready. It's like it's already prepared. The bullet is loaded.
Yep. Yeah. I think there's a lot of people waiting eagerly for that movie.
Yeah.
RM says, Drinker. I just before I go on, actually, I will say, I watched Brie in Fast 10, and I thought she was perfectly fine. Didn't have any issues with her.
Have you seen Room? You have, right?
No, I read the book. I haven't seen the movie yet, but I'm told that she's really good in it.
She earned the Oscar, let's put it that way.
Yeah. Which it's it's annoying, man, to see like presumably an actress that's got a fair amount of talent just going down a really bad path with a character that no one likes. But yeah, you see her in other things and it's like, yeah, fine. Like saw her in Kong Skull Island, and it's again like pretty generic like monster movie, but I thought she was perfectly fine in that too.
Yeah.
Oh well. Anyway, so the next one was RM, who says, Drinker, you got mentioned on by Chad Stahelski about 50 minutes in on the Joe Rogan podcast. Congrats on getting a shout out on the biggest podcast. Thumbs up. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. And yeah, it was very cool. Hypno Hype says, Hail Drinker and Mauler. I was curious about how you guys got to know each other. Cheers for the quality content as always. It was a beautiful story. We had a meet cute and everything.
I'm pretty sure your name just kept coming up in like super chats. People being like, "Get the guy as a guest," and then I checked out your channel, and first thing I remember is you were a parody channel, almost like you were praising Captain Marvel, I think.
Yeah.
But you were obviously like, "It's so good when she," and then describing stupid shit, just fun like that. And then we had you on, and the rest is history. It's pretty simple. It's just straightforward.
It is, yeah. I mean, I'll say that, like, because obviously Mauler had a bit of a head start on me, and so I was a real fan of his channel. Before mine ever took off, so getting to like stream with you guys for the first time, it was a hell of an experience. It was like meeting your heroes in a way. It was very
look
cool.
Where we are now.
Yeah, and
running a show together for 53 years.
here's to another half century.
Yeah.
Next one is from K Pluki, who says, Drinker, have you seen The Peripheral? I would highly recommend. Way better than Rings of Power. Enjoying a 2-ounce pour of Highland Park cask strength. Damn, you're a brave man. Like cask strength stuff will blow your head clean off. But yeah, I hope you like it. But yeah, as for The Peripheral, I don't know. I heard kind of mixed things about that. Some people liked it. Some people really hated it. So I'm not sure what to believe with that one. Have you seen it?
No, I'm not sure what that is.
Hold on. It was on Amazon. I'll just check. It's a TV show, and it is... yeah, so science fiction drama, produced... Yeah, it's Amazon. Okay, so... Right, so it's set in the near future with technology that has changed society in subtle ways. A VR gamer is delivered a connection to an alternate reality as well as a dark future of her own. Okay, so yeah, sort of sci-fi action drama, I guess. Yeah, seems interesting enough. Yeah. Bentley 760 says, I love your new style on your channel, man. Did you guys see the new Deadline article from a few hours ago saying that Indiana Jones is now tracking for a $60 million opening? Let it burn. Yeah, that is terrible numbers.
That's doom right there. That's just imagine the conversations they're having at Lucasfilm.
I mean, for a movie that costs probably 300 million, if not more, like that's what they're admitting to. Yeah, this is like $1 billion movie it needs to be making, and if $60 million opening, that's disastrous. Like you say, yeah, there's bound to be conversations happening about this, and like in the weeks after its release, something has to change, surely. Yeah. Trebacious T says, I fear what the legacy of Spider-Verse will be. Miles Morales' redemption or the corruption of Spider-Man from a character into a brand. P.S. Congrats to Az. Yeah, I'm not sure what we're congratulating Az for, but just congratulations to him anyway.
Congratulations.
He's doing great. But yeah, I wonder about
that. I actually think that's kind of a fair thing. Spider-Man has become so fucking profitable. Not that he wasn't before, but Some people might forget that wasn't he sold for 7 million back in the day from
Oh
Marvel to Sony?
man, Marvel must fucking regret that decision.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because like they obviously desperately want the full rights to him back again, but Sony are just like, nah, I think we'll hold
Oh,
on
they'd
to
have to be
him.
insane to sell the rights to Spider-Man.
Yep.
Is he not like the most profitable character now?
At this point, he probably is. Yeah. When you
It's
look at
gotta
the
be.
like, you've had a string of pretty successful movies, but like within Marvel, and then like Sony obviously did the Amazing Spider-Man movies, not so much, and then you got Into the Spider-Verse, and it's just yeah, he like people are saying here, it runs the risk of just turning him into a brand. You know, he's the Spider-Man is the umbrella under which you've got a whole bunch of different characters that sit, and I'm never entirely comfortable with that idea. Like, I much prefer just one
Oh yeah,
character plays that role. And I know
yeah,
this is
same.
this is very much a thing with comic books. It's like, well, okay, like one character might play Robin from Batman, and then like he dies or whatever, or retires, and someone else takes up the mantle, and it's like, yeah, but it's not the same person. Then it's just a name. That's all it is. I don't want that.
It dilutes everything.
Yeah. Ikane says, I felt that they stretched one film into two for Across the Spider-Verse. Yes, I kind of agree with that one. Felt a bit flabby in places. David says, "What do you think of the Disney? Sorry, what do you think of Disney continuing to censor the films that they now own, like The French Connection? Really hope this gets solved soon. Really alarming how often this is happening. It really is. Like we talked about this before, haven't we, on
Yeah,
streams? There's just that slow creeping censorship of things. I hate it."
not a fan.
Quark says, "Cheers, guys. I highly recommend the Spanish historical movie Alatriste with Viggo Mortensen. It has great war scenes and sword dueling. Nice. I mean, I feel like Viggo Mortensen's probably got this really interesting catalogue of movies that I haven't seen. You know,
Yeah,
outside of Lord of the Rings. I seen him in A History of Violence, which I thought he was really good in. But yeah, like there's a whole... He was in The Road. I thought he was great in that, but...
hmm
Yeah, man, he's done a ton of films, but missed out on a lot of them. Movie Hoplite says, Hail Drinker, Longman, and Pano. Drinker, you beautiful bastard. Have you heard that you were mentioned by Chad Stahelski during his chat on Rogan around the 50-minute mark? Yes. As we said, thank you, man. Byron Luke says, Hail to the open bar. Watched Across the Spider-Verse last night, and Muller is on point with what I thought when leaving the movie. Felt like the movie was good, but in a we are writing a story to force Miles to be better than Peter kind of good. Yeah.
I mean, the filmmakers have recently come out saying that's the point of the movie is to like respond to anyone who says Miles Morales shouldn't be like accepted or
Yeah.
whatever.
This is see when that kind of meta interferes with the movie and it just becomes this like almost spiteful rebuttal to that. Like,
Well, like I said, when I
oh,
was watching it, it did take me out. I can't deny that. I'm not going to say that that means it's definitively like bad storytelling, but I was sitting there enjoying the movie or whatever, and then some of those lines, I was like, oh, okay, what? Why you? Huh? And then I was like, oh, I get it.
yeah. Telperian says Ghostbusters was released 39 years and 1 day ago. Little Platoon. Who are you going to call? Alternate Mauler. Okay. I don't know who are you going to call.
What?
Jesus. 39 years ago.
Yeah.
Bill Murray's barely aged a day in that time. Let's Go Brandon says, we hate Miles on this side of town. Okay. And also, are the Robin variations bad characters? I mean, this is like, I don't know enough about the comics, but like I said earlier, I think I used that as a reference point. Like, I don't really like the idea of having like half a dozen different people play that same superhero character or take up that mantle. I'd just rather have one person and he either dies or continues, you know?
Yeah, I totally understand. It doesn't. There's, I actually really liked the first one, and I thought that Miles is a really strong character. The whole debate over whether he's called Spider-Man, I feel like has moved on now to just being a big fight.
It's just a culture war thing now.
Yeah,
you know, people on one side are just trying to claim him and just slowly
Yeah.
encroach on the whole Spider-Man thing and be like, ah, it's really Miles now. And yeah, like you got the traditionalists pushing back, saying, no, Peter Parker's the one and only Spider-Man. He's just like a fucking carbon copy. Um, yeah, it's just becoming another battle, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Melodic Methods says to follow on from Azzy's point, imagine a story of Miles Morales becoming his own superhero. Could be a moving story about character growth. It could be, yeah, but like I feel like they just won't go down that route because it's almost like conceding ground and saying like, well, he's not actually Spider-Man, he's something else, and they don't want to do that. Anurin Price says, hi, I'm rewatching Rogue One. I can't help but feel that it's a very well-intentioned movie. It seems to really respect the Star Wars universe. What's your thoughts?
I mean, certainly more so than the fucking sequels. I don't know how much that counts for, though.
Yeah, it's like well, it's like Andor, but like bigger budget, more action packed, but you know, similar principle. It feels like it grounds it a bit more, fills in
Yeah.
things. I don't think it contradicts the lore too much. I mean, I'm no fucking expert on this stuff, but like I didn't get a sense of like, oh my god, this totally ruins A New Hope. I thought it leads in quite nicely.
It's I know a lot of people took it. I think, funnily enough, Az takes issue with Vader's portrayal in that film, but I quite like him.
Yeah,
It's
I mean, he's a
some of my
beast,
favorite
like,
parts, probably.
Yeah.
And then there's, I mean, people say it's slow, right? And the characters are pretty thin. I'm inclined to agree with that.
They're not the most interesting of people. That's definitely true. Jyn Erso is
Yeah.
kind of dull. Ashurnabog says, as a lifelong Spider-Man fan, played the games, watched the shows, read the comics. It had everything I wanted except Peter Parker. Kind of frustrating. Fair enough. Jay's Salty Beeper says, anytime there's a minor inconvenience, my brother just looks at me and says, oh, it'll be fine, in a Scottish accent. I introduced him to you with Game of Thrones Season 8. P.S. Az looking great. There's a lot of praise for Az tonight, and it's great to see.
Oh yeah, because he is doing great. He's lost a
He's lost a
decent
ton of
chunk of
weight, yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's good, and you know, he's laid off the booze. I don't approve of that, but you know, each to their own. And yeah, getting lots of exercise. So yeah, it's good to see, man. And yeah, I'm glad your brothers enjoyed my stuff. So thank you.
Yeah.
Northern English Bastard says, congratulations, Darkhour, on your first open bar. There we go. Yeah, it was good to have him on, and yeah, he's well over 1,000 subscribers now, so give him a little bit of a helping hand. Best name I can think of says Miles' new name should be Brown Recluse. Okay. Dredge says, I quite enjoyed Spider-Verse 2 and I'm looking forward to the sequel, but I'm most excited for the Transformers Rise of the Beasts for this weekend. I just hope it's good and not bloated like The Last Night. Cheers. Well, I've heard it's a bit shit.
The Last Night?
No, Rise of the Beasts.
Oh. Right, because The Last Night was a lot. Is that the last of the Michael Bay ones?
I think so, yeah.
Rise of the Beasts, yeah, I've only seen Az's review of it. He said it was like shit.
I think Geeks and Gamers reviewed it as well, and they thought it was garbage, but yeah. I don't give a fuck about the Transformers movies. I don't know, just never cared. Like, maybe the first one or two, like, I was fine with. Just dumb entertainment, but after that, I was like, what more are you giving us here? It's just more robots punching each other. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I've just never been into Transformers, so I'm waiting for people to tell me, like, no, you got to go see this one. This one is the big one. This is a good one.
Yeah. The Almost Dead Man says, thank you so much for recommending The Menu. It's a great film with a ton of laughs and twists, and it cheered me up after a crappy day. Excellent. I'm glad you enjoyed it, and I certainly did. I'm just sorry it took me so long to get around to watching it, you know? Roger Rubio says, I enjoyed Across the Spider-Verse, but I enjoyed the first one more for sure. I really liked your guys' conversation on it. Great detailed discussion. Perfect. Yeah, we tried to, you know, give a bit of a roundtable, you know, opinion on it. Noxide says, regarding canon and how all the spiders need to have tragedy, I'd argue that it's not just that, it's the tragic event caused in part by Spider-Man's choices. I call it the I missed the part where that's my problem moment. I suppose that's true. Yeah, like, and it all ties into his powers and how he chooses to use them.
I just there's something about it that's almost hard for me to articulate, but talking about Spider-Man is one thing, but when like the discussion about him and how he's written and how he's portrayed and stuff bleeds into his actual stories, like the universe recognizes that Spider-Man needs to learn to become responsible, like that shit doesn't sit right with me. I don't
Mm.
like the universe recognizing analysis of storytelling. It's like, go away.
I
That's our
don't.
job.
I don't love that aspect of it, but I tell you what I do find quite compelling in a story like this is the recognition that some events are inevitable, and you feel like you have an opportunity to prevent them. You know, whether through the multiverse or through time travel or whatever crazy mechanic it is. And you do everything in your power to avoid it, but you ultimately come to the realization that it has to happen in order for a much bigger, chain of events to be set in motion, and you reluctantly have to let it happen. I think there's a great amount of pathos that you can explore in that. I think that's a really cool concept.
Well, here's a question. How are you going to feel if by the end of the third movie, Miles figures out a way to not only save the multiverse, but to save everyone in it as well? Like,
I think that's gonna feel cheap as fuck.
I have a
I
feeling that's
really
where they're
do.
going.
I just
When he says, I'm going to do my own thing, I'm almost certain they're referring to he's going to find a way to save his dad, to reveal to the Spider-Man they don't have to have everyone die, and that there's always a choice. You know, that sort of rhetoric.
it just feels
Ideal.
so yeah. I mean, it feels like it misses a core element of his character, because again, I'm not a fucking expert on the comic books, but I do understand that his role as a superhero involves a lot of personal sacrifice, whether it's just like relationships he's missed out on, or his career or whatever, or losing people that he cares about and
Hmm.
having to let them go for the greater good. And that's really the core of what Spider-Man is. And if you circumvent that and say, well, this new guy is so fucking good, he's found a way to like avoid having to do any of that. That's just cheap.
I mean, I feel like they've already set it in stone. Like Gwen has decided the Spider, Authority, whatever they are wrong, and that by the end of the film we've got Spider Ham and Spider-Man Noir and the anime girl. Like they're all coming back from the first one. The implication, I think, being none of them are a part of that big old group, and that they're going to work together to, you know, reveal Miguel is going down in the next movie for sure.
I'm hoping, and it's very much my hope, and it's not because I don't like the character, but I'm hoping that Gwen dies and that becomes Miles's loss, his personal tragedy that like sets him on the path to be Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Because I
I
think
don't.
it's well set up to do that. Like she even like acknowledges herself, like in every other universe, Gwen falls for Peter Parker or Spider-Man or whatever, and it doesn't end well. And it's like that's the inevitability that she can't avoid.
I think that the movie might surprise me, and that yeah, it might be that he saves his dad. The multiversal rules are re-understood, and that he believes, there you go, I did it, I did save everybody, and then the film reveals like no, she died to make it happen or something.
Yeah,
That would
and
have a bit more nuance to it, I think.
I could live with that, and I think it plays into the themes of sacrifice and stuff for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I just think I worry that the reaction will almost dissuade the filmmakers from doing it. Like the idea that
We've seen this recently a lot of times. Creators are unwilling to kill characters because they like too much, which sucks.
yeah, yeah,
The ones that come to mind, funnily enough, I don't even know if you know this, but like the original ending for Hill House, they were all going to die, but Mike Flanagan said it was just too sad, he couldn't do it.
okay,
Then the girl in Stranger Things, I think that was obvious that she was going to die, but then they're like, nah, nah. And then, The Boys season 3, Maeve was going to die, but then they stopped it from happening because Barry gays.
yeah.
Like, there's a lot of this.
It's the women in no, it's not the women in refrigerator problem, is it? But it's like basically having a woman get killed in order to motivate the male protagonist. Like it's become the trope that they're desperate to avoid now.
I think that that's like a cop out almost. It's like, well, look at the other events. Is it something that's happening because it's what's going to happen with how everyone's characterized and what's happening at the time? I guess. I mean, like Ned Stark. If someone said he's going to get fridged so that Rob Stark will be motivated to do X, Y, Z, I'd be like, well, no, he's dying because Joffrey is going to fucking kill him. That's That's who he is. That's what's happening here. There's a lot of other stuff that comes into it, but I don't think we should ever just look at it as like, oh yes, but who's motivated by this? It's like it's not exclusively. And besides, that's not even a bad thing.
Yeah.
The dog in John Wick got fridged.
Yeah. God damn, I'm sick of dogs getting exploited for story purposes. Nine Monkeys says, I thought Miles' uncle was supposed to be his canon moment anyway. Well, I guess this is something you can apply to like multiple characters, really. But I like I say, I believe Gwen is going to be his canon moment. He's going to fall in love with her, and then she's going to die.
The thing about it is that because he got bitten by the spider, it changed everything. So I don't know that we're supposed to believe anything that happened in the first movie was normal or a part of a. Why didn't they invade his universe if he was going off script completely? The spider.
Because then it would resolve the movie in about 5 minutes.
Right.
They don't want
I
to
wonder
do
how much of the second film was planned when they were making the first film. I know a lot of people cite the whole like the colors of Miles were Prowler colors, and then they turned to Spider-Man colors. Like, see, it's like I don't know, that's cool and everything, but I'm not totally convinced that they'd planned this story out. I'm not sure. A lot of it
there's a degree of complexity to the writing that makes me think that they probably did plan something out. Because
they've definitely planned something.
Complex.
I just don't know how much.
Okay.
Which is good. And you don't even have to fully plan out a thing. I mean, Star Wars is famous for not. I don't think they were planning on making a trilogy when they made the first one, right?
Yeah.
It's
well, they certainly. They changed a lot of things in the process. Yeah. Okay. Sam OSR says, my dad is about to be captain, was so dumb, and then it turns out that's actually the logic at play. Super arbitrary.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that either.
Roger Sam says, Miles was the only one of them bitten from an alternate universe. Yes, exactly, yeah, that's why he's different. Timothy Finch says, you ever notice that trans activists always project onto characters like Gwen, who are voiced by cis actors, almost as if they know that trans actors can't pass? I mean, I don't know about that. Like, I know there's a lot of like contention going on that Gwen is actually a trans character. No fucking idea. I don't know what's going on in the minds of the writers or what they're trying to show here.
What have you and I been talking about almost exclusively with this film? It's like character motivations, the world-building mechanics, and how it fits in, and if this is a good choice for Spider-Man as a character. When people are like, now let's talk about whether Gwen is trans, it's like, I don't see why.
This is why we can't have good things or nice things. Well, like everything just gets hijacked by bullshit like this.
There's all cultural like stuff, and it's like, why? Why? Why can't we talk about nerd shit?
Yeah. Istari Azul says, is it just me or does Captain America 4 feel like Disney giving the MCU the Little Mermaid treatment? I predict an epic bomb and wish they'd move on from Sam, Rhodey, Kamala, etc. Yeah, I don't know why they're making another Captain America movie. I don't know why they're calling it Captain America. Why not just call it the Falcon? That would have been way cooler. I would see a Falcon movie. That's the thing. I like the character. I like Sam Wilson. You know, I like Anthony Mackie's portrayal of him. Yeah. It's good. I just don't want to see him pretending to be Captain America.
I've been struggling to like him after Falcon the Winter Soldier. Holy fuck.
Yeah, there is that. But I get the real sense that Anthony Mackie really didn't want to fucking do that. Grendel Vivat says, going to Spider-Verse Saturday. Happy to hear that the script doesn't trash Miguel O'Hara. No, I think Miguel is pretty good. My favorite alt version of Spider-Man. Just got complete series omnibus last week. Glad Mauler and Az are still alive after Lord of the Rings Gollum.
Yes, we are.
High Def says, random question, but do you think we'll ever get a good Alien or Predator film again? No, I don't.
Not really, no.
Bieliki says, Drinker, long-time watcher, only able to jump in here and there. What are your thoughts on the current RT of Little Mermaid? Is it accurate? What's the RT? Oh, Rotten Tomatoes score.
Oh, Rotten Tomatoes, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's been sort of changed so that it only displays like the registered viewers. So let's see what it says when we take that away. So, okay, so it's sitting at 68% critic score and 94% audience score. But if we change that and audience, Come on. Load. Oh, yeah, there we go. Audience. Yeah, it's at 57%. And if you go to top critics, it goes to 50%. So, you know, it kind of depends how you want to manipulate it, but yeah, I'm kind of inclined to trust the all audience scores because this is not a 94% movie. That's like up in the realms of, you know, cinema all-time classics.
Yeah.
It ain't that. So, yeah. It's just them trying to cover for themselves. RM says, thoughts on studios making longer movies on purpose to push streaming numbers after leaving the theater, hence Spider-Verse movie is 2 hours needed or not. I don't buy that. I don't buy it because the money you make in theatrical releases has got to dwarf what you get from streaming. You know, as long as it's a short movie.
So, yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think it's that. I think it's just maybe crap editing or not being able to trim down and just have a nice, concise movie. Or it could just be not even knowing what you actually want to put in it and just like throwing everything at it in the hopes that people will like it. Alcatraz says, there was a scene in the first movie after his Uncle Aaron is killed where they tell Miles that he can't save everyone. Okay. Yeah, that's probably like...
That's true, but it's that's the thing about it. It's like, it's a trilogy. It's going to be curious how they will move the message along. So even was it Spider-Ham says like something along those lines. I don't know. We'll have to see how they're going to close this story out. What story do they want to tell?
RTJ Tom says, babies are like pawns in chess. If they reach the end of the battlefield, then they become superpowered. Oh, fuck, yeah, that's a bit like Peter's kid, I suppose. Daniel Spaceship says, howdy, boys. Drinker, how did you manage to escape Muller's Gollum coercion? One less set of locked balls in the world. Keep up the good work, gents. I used the power of my mind and just being busy with other stuff so that I didn't have to play it because it looked horrible. Stevie G says, the regret of getting your father to watch House of the Dragon. He hears the name Aegon and then 2 seconds later turns and says, is his surname Toast? What?
I get it. Aegon Toast.
Yeah. Good one. Patrick McGrath says, happy Thirsty Thursday. I like that one. What are some of your favorite non-franchise sci-fi movies? A few that I don't hear much about are Sunshine, Moon, A Boy and His Dog, and Slither. Ooh, good. So, yeah, sci-fi movies that aren't part of a big franchise.
Yeah, I really like Sunshine. I was impressed with that one.
Pretty good. Edge of Tomorrow. Really like that one.
I really loved it, and then I watched some people break it down, and I was like, oh.
No, don't do that. Just enjoy it.
It's not quite as tight as I thought it was.
Yeah. It gets, it's pretty contrived a little, you know, towards the end. It's very convenient. I'm just trying to think of others, actually, like non-franchisey ones. I like The Martian, like with Matt Damon. I thought that was really good. Nice sort of survival story.
Hey, fair.
Dark City as well.
Oh, yeah.
That was good fun.
Oh, yeah.
Telperian says, blah, blah, Spidey baby wants milk. Rhino milk, in fact. Yeah, there you go. Spawn Freak says, Drinker, I agree with your take on Peter B. Parker. He's not Peter Parker, he's Jake Parker. A broken loser there to make the new guy look good. That's kind of what it feels like. I'm just saying. Jan Javi says, you should watch Sitch's video on Into the Spider-Verse. He shows how it executed the theme TLJ tried to do and did it way better. It's a really good video. All right, nice. Stephen Wasick says, odds on Scientology sabotaging Oppenheimer so Mission Impossible 7 succeeds. Nolan can't hold his ground against the cult marketing him for death and saying F around and find out. I just think, like, Oppenheimer is not going to be like a general audience blockbuster movie. It's not that kind of film. Mission Impossible is. And so, yeah, it's inevitably going to crush it at the box office. But I'm hoping that Oppenheimer is just a good film generally. Taker610 says they transitioned after making Jupiter Ascending. That must be the Wachowskis. Right. CJ No says it also looks grey and hazy in Maryland too. Oh, that's because of the wildfires. Damn. Joe says blames Canada from South Park was really popular around here yesterday. I bet. Bender says, have you seen Vito and Dick Masterson's humble notes on Isom? Thoughts on Eric's reaction? I don't know what they've been saying about it. No, I'm not sure.
I'm out of the loop on that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what their take is. Cannon Folderall says, there was a Scot both drunken and critical. He met a Welshman long in thought and tentacle. For a laugh, they opened a bar, inviting YouTubers near and far. Now pundits and shills are going mentacle. Nice. Thanks, man. Taker 610. Muller, Jupiter Ascending is the Gollum of sci-fi. It was a bit shit, yeah.
It was a bit shit.
Blue Team Epsilon, New York has the Mexico filter. Yeah, that's what it's like. Crimson says, I often hear you guys talk about how Andor was the one diamond in the rough in this era of Disney, but I've yet to hear your thoughts on the Jedi series. I was wondering if you could ever cover them in a video. Where's part 2 of this? Oh, I don't think there is one. Okay. Okay, yeah, so the Jedi Fallen Order, that sort of thing.
I just don't care
You're the
about
gaming
it.
guy.
I'm sorry I don't care about it. It's my bad.
Okay. I'm the same. I don't care about Star Wars games. Roger Rubio says...
I care about some of the games. Just not those ones.
Hey, do you guys ever watch New Rockstars or vids like that to get the perspective of the other side?
Sometimes. Mainly for EFAP, maybe?
Yeah. Okay. Pooty Evans says, is this the movie set for Blade Runner 2042? It seems like it, yeah. Rene Guy says, Hail Open Bar, currently watching through the EFAP archive. Just got to the part where Cinema Wins censored Joker swearing, but not the bullet in Murray's head seconds later. That had me crying laughing.
It was so fucking funny. You remember that scene from Joker, right? Like,
yeah.
And he like pixelated the blood on the wall, but he left the wound for like the actual shot to the head.
See, YouTube is really funny about that sort of thing as well. Even if it's just, you know, fictionalized in a movie, that can quite often get you demonetized, whatever you want to deal with, you know. Cody Griffin, funnily enough, I've been in the middle of the California wildfire country areas, and I've been in sandstorms in the Middle East. Looks just like what's happened in New York. I mean, yeah, that's basically what you're dealing with there. I think it's cleared up now, so that's good at least. Rick O'Neill says the Ghostbusters sequel is in the middle of filming in Manhattan. I'm sure we'll see scenes taking advantage of the atmosphere. Might as well, I suppose, if you want to find a way to make it work. Are you excited for the next Ghostbusters movie?
No. What's the information on that?
Fuck knows. I didn't even know it was getting made until fairly recently. But
yeah, same.
Yeah.
Leave it alone.
Are they just going to churn them out now? Like,
guess so.
Afterlife was relatively successful, so it's like, fine, we'll just keep throwing them out there.
What was your take on Afterlife again? Was it okay?
I thought it was okay at the time, and then when I look back, I'm like, yeah, that was fucking shit. It was really, like, really manipulative and really just exploited the whole, like, member berries thing. And if you've managed to convince all the remaining Ghostbusters to come back, you know, make the most of it. Do something smart. Like, they just fucking show up at the climax, and they're in their old, like, you know, Ghostbusters gear with the proton packs and everything. It doesn't make any sense because it's explained that there's only, like, the proton packs that the kids are already using, so where the fuck did they get these ones? And just, yeah, Bill Murray's performance, man. I mean, there's phoning it in, and then there's, like, handwriting a letter and then sending that in. Like, that's what he was doing. He could not give less of a shit if he tried. Okay. Narsul1 says, hello again. In the spirit of the Iron Age, I'm giving a shout out to Constancy Roa, an indie anime project currently live on Kickstarter. Thanks. Nice one. Captain Dropkick says, Dark Arrow's new name is Tequila Drinker. Oh, no, sorry, Tea-Critical Drinker. I like that. Taker610, Mike Zero said that Disney is going to sell back to Lucas. Haha. Yeah, I think...
Sure.
That's a bastion of good journalism there.
Right
so
after Kathleen Kennedy's fired.
Yeah. Pooty Evans, you're forgetting about Red Tails. That's a surefire hit. Yeah. I love the idea of, like, Lucasfilm just, like, raiding the archives. What have
Yeah.
we got left? What
How would
haven't
the
we
duck
raped
go?
yet?
How would the duck?
Yeah. Edward Morris says, "Poor Dumbcock, he's never going to live that down." I mean, when you deal in scoops and rumors and stuff, like it's going to backfire sometime eventually. Emissarial says, "Indiana Jones and the Last Gasp." Well, that's kind of what it is.
Mm-hmm.
AGM4 says, "The year is 2033. I'm the new CEO of Lucasfilm. Pitch me an original Star Wars film or trilogy. No Skywalkers or Palpatines." A bunch of former rebel fighters have to team up with a bunch of former Empire intelligence officers who've got the keys to some. They've got the lead on some doomsday device that was squirreled away in the dying days of the Empire, and they've got to stop it from getting used. There you go. And you got they got to learn to work together with their conflicting ideas and all that good stuff. And you don't know who you can trust, and there's betrayals and all that sort of thing.
Team of bounty hunters that have to go and hunt and find the last big creaturey beast thing on some distant poisonous planet, and then they discover there's all a lie, that planet is poisonous, but that there's no monsters or creatures there. There's actually a base being built of some new faction, and they have to get out of there before they're killed to tell the truth to the world. I don't fucking know,
whatever. It's like, who fucking cares at this point? It's dead.
It's dead.
A Raccoon City Stories says, "Congrats on your upcoming Rambo prequel, Drinker. I was curious to know how that official licensing came about and what the process has been like making it. Did you have any input into the artwork or visuals?" Yeah, so it was Chuck Dixon who kind of managed all of that stuff. So yeah, I guess he's got contact with Stallone, who owns the rights to Rambo, and so they were able to negotiate a deal. And yeah, they pitched me what they'd like me to do, story-wise, roughly. We want a prequel that's about something outside of just John Rambo. So I suggested doing Colonel Troutman. We came up with the Korean War setting, and then I wrote the script, and that was my first experience of writing a script for comic books. So, for anyone who might not know about it, you kind of have to write what you want to go into each panel, and there's only maybe 4 panels on a page, and ideally you want some kind of direction for what you want in each image to really summarize what you're saying there. And yeah, you can go into as much detail as you want. It's really weird going from writing a novel with hundreds of pages to play with to just something really short like this. So you got to be super efficient, but yeah. I was given approval over the artwork and stuff, and yeah, I like the style that they've gone through. It's a bit different. So, When W says, "Hey Drinker, Muller, and guests, I just want to thank you for what you do, entertaining us, informing us, as well as inspiring those of us who are aspiring writers. Cheers, gentlemen." Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Pooty Evans says, "Come on, Tubi, make that bid for Lucasfilm." Yeah, do it. Peter Gormby says, "Imagine if Universal bought Lucasfilm. That would be hilarious, actually." I can't see Disney ever selling to them, though. Accident Seller says, "I'm smacking my skin flute. So randy right now." I mean, what can we say? You see us on screen, you're going to have to do something about it. Alex from Phoenix says, "I recently heard John Wick director Chad Stahelski name drop the Drinker again on the Joe Rogan Experience. Unexpected, but it makes me proud to follow this podcast. Keep doing your thing, guys. Cheers, mate." Timmy04 says, "What are some Scottish sayings for being really drunk? Here in Australia, we have things like sloshed and munted. I'd love to know some Welsh ones too, Mauler." We've got
Mulled is one. I don't know if it's Welsh or not, though. That's the hard thing to know. Yeah. Absolutely mulled.
Steamin', that's a Scottish one, I think. I was pure steaming the other night, Hoachin, that's another one.
Why did we make so many words for the same thing?
I know, just drunk will do. So I think that's the main ones here for us.
Yeah.
Shan Wickerson says, "I'd like to recommend the YouTube channel Solid JJ as the best Marvel and DC content available right now. Only a few minutes for each video too." Nice. All right, cool. Raccoon City Stories says, not too well versed in Star Wars outside the OG trilogy, but Dash Rendar would be a cool character to do a movie on. He's the main character in Shadows of the Empire on N64. Essentially, it's a rip-off of Solo. Nice. Okay. Richard Blum says Elon Musk should buy Lucasfilm. That'd be fucking brilliant, because I know he would fire everyone. Gargus Mello says, graduated high school today, so here is some money, you massives. Nice, man. Well done for making it. Rob Robinson, where is Dark Hour on subs? Cheers, and gentlemen, not assuming your gender or proclivities, but love open bar, and best to all of you. Thanks, man. And yeah, Dark Hour got over 1,000, so we got him there. We did it. It's not me, it's you. Says, any of you heard of Bredine Alberti? Would quite like for him to be brought onto open bar. I've never heard of him, I'm afraid. I don't know what he does or what he's about.
Yeah, I'm not familiar.
Aiken says, Silo has been watchable for me. It is Rebecca Ferguson. The first couple of episodes are world building. The main story slowly gets introduced by episode 3. Okay.
All right.
Caleb Wright says, what are your favorite Marvel heroes? Iron Man.
Yeah, we're both going to share the Iron Man one. What else we got? Daredevil.
Yeah.
Ghost Rider and Punisher.
Yeah. Might say Captain America as well. I didn't like him at first. He grew on me a lot over the course of the movies.
That's probably a solid selection. I'm trying to think if there's any with... I've always found Reed Richards interesting and cool.
I always found him a bit goofy. Maybe it's just how it's represented visually, but all the floppy arms and stuff is a bit...
Well, we'll see. The MCU vision will surely ignite your love for him, like the MOM one did.
Yay. Oh, they had such a good actor for it. Jonathan Sherwood says, Platoon, skip Chicago and go up north a few hours. Grand Rapids, Michigan is great. Nice. Take that recommendation. Geek Factor says, cheers to the whole panel and a special greeting to Dark Hour. Nice. Judo Cricket says, how much do we need to give to watch? To force or persuade Az to watch Witcher season 3? I think it's going to be a lot. Taika Waititi is the Patty Jenkins of Marvel. Do with that information what you will.
I don't think she's ever made a movie as good as Jojo Rabbit, though.
No, she's kind of self-destructed as well. I don't think she's going to be doing big things for a while. Malt Krug says, the funny bit about the long Welsh town name is that they used it as a password for the rebels in the old Barbarella movie. I did not know that, actually. That's fucking cool. Pooty Evans says, don't trust Mauler. He'll make you play Gollum.
That's true, but fun. That's a fun element of me, okay?
It's like you're hanging around schools and stuff going, children, play this Gollum game.
I have it on every platform.
It's not me, it's you. Says, to everyone except Dark Hour, why do you think so few Brits call it the woke BS happening in the UK? Also check out Banshee, it's very good. I don't know, we got Sargon over here. He's doing pretty good with all that. Made a career out of it, basically. Same with Dave Cullen. Bendy says, please read. This is Bendy. You won't win, kiddie. Me and Chop Suey will rise to the top. Okay. Job done. Right. Midnight Man, got any thoughts on the new Mortal Kombat game? Not really. I mean, I don't really play Mortal Kombat anymore. It's like that was really a thing for the 16-bit era for me back in the day.
It looks like a Mortal Kombat game, so we'll see.
Yep. Judo Cricket says, will someone please explain to Little Platoon there's a difference between ending the MCU and nuclear hellfire? Granted, it's small, but still. Nah, I go for nuclear hellfire. Philip Trevor says, Chariots of Fire was my father's favourite. I feel like that movie's remembered for the soundtrack rather than what actually happens in it. It's like... just the most epic, like, synth pop 1980s soundtrack ever. Just basically centered around an Olympic team of a bunch of guys running. Like, it's such a weird thing. Shan Wickersham says, if you didn't know, an extremely talented 14-year-old was hired to do the Lego sequence in Across the Spider-Verse after posting his work on Twitter. Is that true?
14-year-old?
I hope that's true. That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Grimnack says, thanks very much for the shout, Drinker. Love you, and cheers. Never forget Scottie Pippen and those brave hobbits. Oh, and big ideas. Yeah, nice. It's big brain time.
It's Big Idiot. Gosh, the scholar.
Yeah. Jesus Davila gave us a thumbs up. Thank you. Patton Ward says, first they made Peter Parker a sweatpants wearing bummed out loser, and then they put him into a pink nightie and made him a sad. They did him dirty. Kind of feels like it, yeah. John Blackbird says, Don Blackbird. Welcome to the catch-up. Do you like watches? What watches do you have? I've seen Drinker wear a cool black one on vids, but no clue what it is. If it's a Hublot, I'll unsub. Is there any watch to aspire to own? Okay, this one here, you probably can't see it very well because the light's not very good on it, but that's an Armani one. And this one's quite cool. It's a diesel one. It's very big and chunky. And I wear that one sometimes. And the only other one I've got is this, which is like a... Yeah, it's a Citizen one. It's one of those ones that like sets itself automatically, like through radio or something.
Magic.
So, yeah, it's connected up to like the atomic clock somewhere. And it's powered by sunlight, so it's great. But yeah, that's the only ones I got. So I don't think any of them are super expensive, but I do like them. And Rachel of Dunwell says, showing my 17-year-old boy Buffy for the first time, and got 4 episodes left of season 5. He got all teary through the body.
Yep, most people do. It's a tough one to watch.
What happens in that one?
It's where Buffy's mom dies.
Oh, yeah.
And the episode has no music in it. It's almost strictly just 40 minutes of the characters reacting to that information, and that's it.
They handled it pretty well.
Oh, it's like the most serious episode of TV that there is.
Yeah. No, that's good stuff. Well, that's the last of it. That's the end of the Super Chats.
Well.
We done it. Thank you, guys. I appreciate them all, as always. Thank you for sending us so many awesome questions and being so generous with your time and money. So, hope you enjoyed this little catch-up stream. And the next time you see us, we'll probably be on Open Bar on Thursday. So, that's all we got for today. Go away now.
Bye.